Thank you all for coming to this talk. It's a great pleasure to welcome back Pradeep ji to the Auromira Centre. And I was just looking up when was the last time he was here. It was 20th of October 2019, so almost 3 years to the date. Wonderful to have you here, and we thought we would take the opportunity while you're in London to ask you to give a talk. And some of you will know that in this past few days, in the month of October, we have had Puja days invoking the mother in her various manifestations. So Durga has already been invoked, and we celebrated her victory day 2 days after Durga Puja. Last weekend, we invoked Mahalakshmi, and the decoration there is related to Mahalakshmi. Next week, we'll be calling Kali. And then in January, Saraswati, last but not the least. So we thought that it would be very appropriate if Pradeep ji could talk to us about the various manifestations of the mother and the importance of them in everyday life. So please, can I hand over to you now? Thank you.
Sanjeev, thank you. It's always very blissful to be here in Auromira. And the time chosen is very appropriate, as October is pure worship, different facets of the mother. And this being the 150th year of Sri Aurobindo's birth has a special presence where the mother is manifesting very strongly. Somebody asked the mother as to what happens on such occasions, where Sri Aurobindo's 100th birth anniversary, her birthdays, and etc., all the important days that happen. So she said there's a special presence that takes place. And when we together as a Sangha, as a collectivity, talk about her, invoke her, think about her, there is her special presence. And there is no doubt that at present, just now, the presence is very effective. She has spoken about this at length. And that's why Sri Aurobindo said that one can achieve a lot alone, individually, meditation, studies, etc. But what you can achieve as a collectivity is 1,000 times more, because you can invoke much more. And then, as they say in Hindi, the patram, it takes the utensil that takes the grace coming down is far, far more than it is if you could do it individually. Individually, you receive a lot, it spills. But when together we bring it, the spilling is less. So individually you gain from the collectivity, and the collectivity gains from the individual. So the force is tremendous when we get together. At present we are talking about her, we are thinking about her, we are invoking her, we are thinking about her with love and devotion. And this is a time when really she is so strongly present. This year especially, we've been preparing for the 150th anniversary for a long time. Various projects which have been taken, and this COVID has been of great help because we've been able to contact each other much more. Mr. Shiv Kumar is here from Chennai. He's been coming to UK often, but he's been holding his classes on Life Divine and Senses of Yoga, etc., from wherever he is. And he has 80, 90, 100 people there all the time, which is physically not possible. But this time, it has been very, very effective. Especially during this period, it's been very effective. In fact, the dissemination of the message has been much deeper and vaster than ever before. Before the Zoom and the Google Meet came into the picture. So it's been a real tapasya in the last few years. preparing for this 150th anniversary, especially about how Mother has explained about the importance of such dates. There is a presence, and there's a special manifestation. The words used was a special manifestation. And so all over we're having events. I think practically every month or every week, practically somewhere, some part of India, something was happening on the message, and the message was spreading. So, and I've always been very keenly following what is happening here in Auromira, and I find that a lot of effort is being made towards people so that people become aware of what Mother is saying through her quotations, through her. I notice in the morning something goes, in the afternoon something goes, at night something goes. So you become more and more aware and connected with the Mother's way of looking at things. And it's, we human beings have a tendency of getting derailed. Our minds are never still. When we are talking here, we are focused. When we go out, we are again unfocused. But when slowly, as the message keeps on coming, some way or the other, you get back on. You get derailed, but you get back on. So the more we think about her, the more we remember her, in whatever way we find, it's that the dislodgement that takes place, it brings us back on the rails again. So we are together again for the same purpose, whatever the subject might be, but the purpose is of creating a Sangha, creating a togetherness, a collectivity to call her. Her manifestation, this whole creation is her manifestation. She is created at various levels. At the transcendental level, when the absolute Brahman, the silent, the Nirguna Brahma, decided to manifest, he ordered her to manifest. So he created Shakti. When you say Purusha and the Shakti, Shiva and the Shakti created the creation. It started when the Lord wanted it so, and his Shakti, his power, created it, which is the Mother. She is the creative force of the Lord. And he has given her complete freedom to create as she wants. That is why the image has very often painted out in the scriptures about the Kali danced on Vishnu's chest. As she wanted to dance, she danced. She pleased Kali. And then she created and she manifested. The whole creation came. The whole evolutionary process started with her. And she guides it. She decides on the pace. She decides on direction. And she decides on the climb as it's going on. When she manifests at the transcendental level, as a part of the absolute, and when she created the cosmic, at the cosmic level, which is to which we belong. And then at the individual level, when she took birth in her body. It's a very interesting incident that took place. Kapali Shastri was one of the very well-known Ashramites. He was a great rishi himself. So somebody asked him that, you come to Pondicherry, you're in Madhura ashram. You are so great, such a rishi yourself, you could have created your own ashram. Why did you come here? What did you get here by coming? So he said, you asking me such a question. Do you know who she is? It's something very beautiful. He said that for the first time, Aditi has taken birth directly in a human body. For the first time. she is not just an emanation, she's a direct descent of the Mighty Mother, the creative force of the Absolute. And at an individual level, you can see the manifestation that's taking place. What a stupendous push there has been to the evolutionary force by her presence, her physical presence on Earth, is you can see what's happening. And it is not just the hour of God, it is the hour of the unexpected. Things are happening which we did not expect at all levels. As you can see, a good level or a bad level, but things are happening unexpectedly. And the more we connect, the more our connection with the hour of God gets stronger and stronger. There are two kinds of manifestations of the Mother. One is the presence of the Mother, which is a manifestation all the time, constantly, consistently, it is there. And she said that if that touch she loses this touch with even for a fraction of a second, this whole universe will collapse. That's the law that has been created, which has created this universe. That is how it has been built. Because there are two forces moving. There are the forces of the divine, forces of the Asuric. And the Asuric force has been created by the divine. And divine forces and the Asuric forces are at loggerheads, to us it seems. Because the job of the Asuric force is to spoil the work of the divine. Hence, Sri Aurobindo says that evolution will take place, good will definitely win over the bad, but there is through a process of evolution it's going to happen, and it will happen through a process of friction, disharmony, obstacle. An obstacle race. You have problems after problems after problems, doors don't open, or push them, the doors creak. It's not easy to go through. Not easy for the light to spread out. But that is why this force, the anti-force, has been created to block the work. Now we have to decide which side we stand. If you are on the side of the divine, then you have your whatever the pluses and the obvious apparent minuses that are there, because we have problems, certain problems. Because we want to go on a path which is upward climb, meandering, which you have to reach a point. But then she is holding your hand, and she guides you, and she takes you there with a promise, inevitable promise, that yes, you will come with me, I'll take you there. At the other side, many who joined very clearly that they are on the other side of the darker forces, and there is a battle. At the end, an Armageddon takes place ultimately. And ultimately, as the Mother said, it's the Lord who holds the trump card. And he wins the battle. And those of us who have been a part of this battle on the side of the divine also are a part of the victorious forces. So this is going on. And this is all through her manifestation. In Savitri, which I'm so happy to see you all read so avidly, is when Narada is coming down from the heavens to Asupati's palace, and he's singing. He was a great singer, and he's singing the praises of the Lord and also speaking about the future. And in one of in Savitri, we'll find when he describes the Asuric force, and when he is explaining that you reach a part in the evolutionary period where there will be total harmony. And when we will be total realization, the total picture, the final picture he's talking of the transformation of the physical itself through the Satyavan. Then the asteric forces heard this. This is what is going to happen. And they cried with joy. Finally, our role is over. Because they don't want it to be. Because they're gods. God with a mask. They don't want to do this. They don't want to finger us all the time, And they said they cried with joy that our work is not over. We can go back to being what we are, go back to heaven. Our work is now over. The work of creating this friction, this imbalance, this disharmony is now over. Unfortunately, the human nature is such that we don't turn to God unless we are in trouble. Either you run to a temple, or to a church, or to a masjid, only when you have a problem. As the problem recedes, the prayer also recedes. And when the problem goes, the prayer also vanishes. We are made like that. So there was a little couplet of a Hindi poetry where the lady is expressing dissatisfaction with God that whenever I need you, not around. And this is whenever I'm in trouble, you're never around. So one day he met her somewhere in the market. And he said, why do you fight with me all the time? She said, you're never there. Whenever I need you, you're never there. She said, I call you all the time. But you don't listen. What do? I give you a knock on the head. And then you think of me. Then you want to go to me. So what do? You don't listen to me. I'm hollering, but you won't care. You're so busy with other things, better things of life. But then I give you a knock on the head, my dear girl, here I am. Look at me. And then I turn. So this is our story of our lives. And the more the knocks we get, the more we pray. So there's a poem of Kabir. In India, I'll translate that into English. He said, we always pray when we are in trouble. But if when we are not in trouble and we're happy if we pray at that time, then why would any trouble come to us? It will not happen. Bad period will not take place if you're in constant prayer. If you're happy even if there's a sense of gratitude, oh Lord, thank you so much for giving me this, for giving me happiness, for giving me these beautiful moments. Thank you so much. That if even that gratitude wells up, life begins to change. And this gratitude is the biggest divine virtue that one can have, and the most neglected virtue. There's a story of the mother. When she used to have the evening classes with the children, there's a story that she used to tell, and that was on. She said there were lots of beautiful fairies getting together in a party, all of them beautiful, happy, harmonious. Some was compassion, one was truth, etc., etc. All the beautiful virtues. So this man comes in and sees this party going on, and it's one very beautiful, the most beautiful girl, fairy, was sitting in the corner, all alone. Nobody was talking to her, like an outcast, practically. And so he goes to her and says, why are you sitting here? She said, nobody bothers about me. He said, but what's your name? He said, gratitude. This is a story that's told the children. And this is the most beautiful virtue that we can have, and that is one virtue which is always neglected. Gratefulness. Gratefulness to God for what you have given us. And if there is constant gratitude in your heart, then life begins to change. Coming to her manifestation. As I said, she manifests from all three levels. Even when she is not in her body, she is manifesting. In fact, she said, I manifest far more strongly now than I would be in my body at a different level. She never appointed anybody in her place, as all normal traditions, spiritual traditions do. Because she said, I will be there in you all the time. You have to reach out to me. Earlier on, when she was in her body, one could run to her and ask her as to what should we do, what should we not do, what should the society do, what should the ashram do. She would say yes, no, etc. Someone will be admitted, someone will not be admitted. The school will run this way. I mean, it was all her. She was a total manager, you can imagine. Perfect management. She was perfection personified. No, after she left, she never appointed anyone. We were all puny people around doing the same things that she was doing. It is on the physical level. But she said, you will reach me when I'm there, very powerful, very effective, very close to you, closer than I was. Then you reach out. So every time that we need anything, we have to try and go deep within and get an answer. That's why this constant effort that we have. It's an effort that we have to make. Earlier on, it was not an effort. You just went to her and took a decision. This is an effort that we have to go deep within. You have to quieten yourself. You have to try and reach away because it's a silent level. And it's a silent answer that she gives you, the silent guidance that she gives you. And that is how she wanted it to be. So we are going more and more quieter and deeper to find her and to get the answers because we won't like to do what she wants us to do. Let thy will be done through my will. Let my will be connected to your will. And for that, I need to tell me what I should do. We should do individually and also collectively. So now she functions, manifests in her 4 aspects. I was just thinking about this, Sanjeev, that you talk of Kali Puja, Saraswati Puja, Lakshmi Puja. We don't have any Maheshwari Puja. It's very strange. There are 4 aspects. First is Maheshwari, the senior most, right on the top. She is the person who vast ocean of knowledge, wisdom, etc., etc. She rules, and there is no puja. So just the other day, I was thinking about this. This has been bugging me for a long time. So I asked a lot of these erudites in the ashram, I said, why is it? Where is Maheshwari? Why don't we think whatever talk of Maheshwari? So it's always Mahakali, it's always Mahalakshmi, it's always Mahasaraswati. Where is Maheshwari? For some reason, she is far away, lording over the whole creation, and we are somehow or the other more connected with the other 3 aspects. So this is Maheshwari, wisdom, total, complete takeover, rules the world, And then there's Mahakali. Mahakali, full of passion, warring, killing with love, destroying with love, saving with love and compassion. And she kills. She says, I kill all the evil forces, as Kali says. But those evil forces where are those evil forces? Within and without. So I create that. I have to kill the evil within you, not only without you. So this destruction that takes place of the evil, of the asuric force, is that also which resides within us. That's where the real battle is. And if we have the guts, and if we have the courage to call Mahakali, then Mahakali, please destroy the evil within me. That's very painful. Needs a lot of courage to do that. But that's what I would say is a very quick process to perfection. If Mahakali gets down to it. And she does in her own time. But she does it as painlessly as possible. But that evil within is what we express without. And that's where the real battle is. That's Mahakali. We have read so much about this. Sri Aurobindo has written in detail about these aspects. So I won't go into very detail about this. Then comes Mahalakshmi. Mahalakshmi. We think Lakshmi stands for money, wealth. That's not true. Sri Aurobindo expresses her as she represents subtle opulence. The word he uses is subtle opulence. It's not money. It's not Deepavali that we do what we do. But it's the subtle opulence of her which is invoked. It's the harmony that the Mahalakshmi creates. And the disharmony she goes away from. You have to have conditions in which she, with her beauty and compassion and love, she descends into your life. And this is Mahalakshmi. That's one aspect of the mother which is manifested at different levels. Mother also chose certain dates in the ashram for the manifestation of these three. Again, not Maheshwari for some reason. So that is Mahalakshmi. Then comes Mahasaraswati. Now, this is the Mahasaraswati aspect is the most important, and the most today is the most exciting aspect of the mother. She is the youngest of the four. She is the closest to us human beings. It comes to us with great patience and forbearance. That we are so stupid, so idiotic, we are so dense, and she has to deal with us because she has to transform us. And it is through her that the pace of transformation will speed up. She is the youngest, and she is the believes in perfection, she nuts and bolts, tightens the nuts and bolts of this whole world of human beings, and introduces perfection in us. And takes us on together. Come on, get into line, get into the queue. We have to head towards transformation. This is the and the other three, as Sri Aurobindo said, lean on her for the completion of their work. This is beautiful. The great Maheshwari, Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, lean on Saraswati for the completion of the entire work. So through her comes this towards this great force of evolution towards transformation. The other aspects, like Ananda, and some that we don't even know, maybe should not even manifested so far, are not available to us. Especially not Ananda because we're not ready. A drop of that can shake us up. So there has to be enough harmony in us and around us for the Ananda to appear. And I think the final change perhaps will take place when the force of the manifestation of Ananda comes. But it's a great journey which is taking place. A difficult journey, of course, because it's all wound up in this. Too many knots are there, and the knots, we can't force it because, as you will realize, it can't be cut asunder. It has to be slowly, delicately opened. The knots of our life, the knots of our personal life, the knots of our collective life have to be slowly opened up. The knots will go one knot after another, one knot after another. And imagine millions of knots as we human beings have. But Saraswati is doing that slowly. And this process can be speeded up. There's no doubt about that. Nature, Prakriti, which is Prakriti represented by the mothers, by the mother, his Sri Aurobindo's creative force is going at a particular pace. It's going in a particular direction. The evolution is carrying on. Willy-nilly, it is carrying on. Whether we see it or we don't see it, it is taking place. Sri Aurobindo said that if we can collaborate with this force, if you're conscious of this force taking place, that this is what is happening and this is how the change is coming, then it is possible to speed up the evolution. Even if the total evolution is taking its time, individuals can go faster than the total evolution. And that's why he stated somewhere that one single individual can change the whole world. So each one of us has a duty to evolve as much as we can. And that evolution is through a connection with the mother. And that connection comes through remembrance. Remembrance is a great force. And also with the feeling of surrender. Somebody asked the mother, how do we increase this pace? And she said, offer me whatever you can. And offer me more than you can. She said, when you make an offering, it should pinch. If you can give half an hour, try and give 40 minutes to me. If you can give 5 rupees, try and give 5 rupees. 1 rupee more. Let it pinch. And she in fact gestured like that. It should pinch you. And that pinch increases the column that comes down, to the grace that comes down, is broader and broader and broader. So offer more and more of what you would like, offer that. So mother said, somebody asked the mother, how do I know that whether you are guiding me or is my mind guiding me to do something? He said, if you are going to do something, put yourself in a position that what would you feel if you don't do it? Are you happy or are you unhappy? I want to go to Switzerland for skiing. Whether is it my mind saying so or is it your guidance? He said, you see whether you will like it or you will not like it if you don't go. If you are unhappy about it, that means I am not guiding you. Put yourself in that. It's perfect. You can't go wrong. But it's another matter that I want to go for skiing. What do I do? So there was a Bengali gentleman in the ashram, Barun. We were discussing something. So he wanted to do some project, some commercial project. So I said, let her decide what she wants to do. Don't get her into it, please. Keep her out of this. We'll do what we want to do. And uska nahi bola beech mein sab gabad ho jayega. It is true, absolutely. Because he said no. Well, then what do you do? So why are you getting in? Keep her out of this. So what I'm saying is to decide whether it's me or it is her. It says there's no blur. We think it is a blur. We don't know. It's not blurred at all. We know very well what she wants and what we want. And because my heart is not linked to your heart totally, hence the problem starts. So how much are we willing to follow her will? How much are we totally trying to connect with her and follow what she wants us to do? whatever you might say. But this is all about mother spirituality. And I don't see any other way out. Frankly, one hears of various traditions are there, etc. But the fact that a human being can change and its ultimate destiny is to change, and there is a process that will take you to that change, I have not seen or heard anyone say this. That ultimately, even physical immortality will be established. Because it is a process of evolution. It goes from man to beyond the body. So everything has to change. There is no limit to it, and hence we are very lucky to be a part of this journey. And Sanjeev, thank you so much for inviting me. Been always a joy. You're doing great work over here. Continue. Come to Pondicherry sometimes and make a trip. I think Pondicherry does something. Whatever it is, her physical presence is very strong. She said that within 12 kilometers of the center of where the ashram is, there is a special physical force that she has put over there. And that's why in her last darshan, which was in August 2023, it rained heavily. It poured and everybody was drenched absolutely at that time. But beyond that 12 kilometers, there was no rain. So there's a special physical force that so Pondicherry has a different kind of meaning. But most of us are so dense that having been there, even we don't know what is happening. So it's over there you can get knocks. Wake up! You're here. Damn it, you're here. Why don't you wake up? We're very dense people. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. Will you be able to take some questions?
Yeah, please do. Please ask.
Anyone with any questions? Can I start off? I think at the beginning of your talk, you said that this is the first time that she's taken a direct manifestation in human. Why now?
Obviously, this is the first step towards a faster evolution towards transformation. And at an individual level, that is, I think, the strongest manifestation that is, because being a part of us, it will much faster. I think that's why she took this. It's not Kali, Mahalakshmi. They were emanations. She's a direct, according to Kapali Sastri, she's a directly she took. And he was the mother's Shakti's bhakta. And she said, "You're asking me whether I going to start." And I said, "What more do I need? I'm at her feet. And what more do I want?" And her physical presence is very, very strong indication of a much faster pace of evolution.
So
Pradeep, does it mean that because could it also be that mankind was a little bit more ready than it was in the past?
Yes. I think
and so do not waste time.
We are ready, and also she wanted to make us more ready. By her presence, her manifestation is certainly become much stronger by her physical presence in this earth. There's no doubt about that. Photos, this, that. I mean, her voice, the music that she created, all those things have helped in this, increasing the pace. So her presence, physical presence, has made a lot of difference. when she talks of individual manifestation at the individual level, this is a very direct result of that.
What would you say to general mankind who is not directly turned to the mother in the way that all of us connected to her see it? Because on the outer, most people are just seeing things going downhill.
It is true. See, it is the evolutionary force is a spiraling upward movement. It cannot come down. In our births, whatever you might do, but might be wrong even, or sinful, or whatever it might be, but our consciousness is not coming down. Because it has come there, our soul has come and taken a particular body, a particular womb, for an experience of the soul, which wants a journey. And that journey is only upward. It cannot come down. It's a spiraling evolution. You may be a thief, or you may be an emperor, you may be a saint, but your consciousness is still spiraling. But then, how many people don't even know the mother, what yoga is, or leave alone participation? That's why it takes time. But then each saint, I would say, each system of spiritual system or a religious system is doing its bit. It is going in the same direction. Different avenues, different routes, but going in the same direction. After all, they are taking you close to God. One might say that this world will not change. It's like a dog's tail. This is what most traditions say. It cannot change. But some can still change. Buddha, who was a strong votary of this, of absolute total silence, you receive that silence and you have a direct entry into the nirvana. That was his basic. But in the end, when they asked him that, will your work be finished? He said, no, until I wipe the last tear off, my work is not over. That means I'm going to keep on coming back. So the evolution carries on. And if you read Mother's commentaries on the Dhammapada, it's very, very, very different to what the Buddhists talk about. First of all, Hindus consider Buddha the avatar, not the Buddhists, surprisingly. He's a guide. He's not an avatar. He's not divinity at all. So, for instance, you take this prayer of Christian prayer, where let thy will be done on earth as it is done in heaven. What does that mean? Your writ doesn't run here as it is in heaven. So let thy will be done here. So this becomes the heaven. That's what it means. Basically, that's exactly what it means. That's exactly what Sri Aurobindo is talking about. Transformation of the physical, transformation of the earth. So that it is divinizing the earth. He's talking about divinization. This is exactly what the main prayer of Christianity is that thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. You rule, my friend, you rule there, but you don't rule here. Please rule here also. So when rule here was, let heaven be on earth. So actually it means.
So another question that sometimes I have is it possible to that some individuals will be able to only focus on one particular emanation, and that's the guide that they have for the entire journey?
Yes, it's true. It can. It's your inclination, and it's through that you are. For instance, like Sri Aurobindo said, that there's a machine with three levers. You pull one, which is of bhakti, and one is jnana, and the other is karma. But ultimately you come to the same point. So you start with any one emanation which appeals, for instance, or a deity, for instance. Through the deity that you lifted up or taken on to that direction. And even religion. But we talk about religion, it's created more problems, etc. More disputes and disharmonies have been created by religion. But actually, religion has played a great role. It has established God in our lives. All of us have gone through to God only through some religion or the other. But the role of the religion is over now. It's like Sri Aurobindo said, it's a scaffolding. Now that it is ready, you have it ready, then now move on. Why are you sticking on, holding on to the scaffolding? That's where the problem lies. We hold on to the religion because that's what we know. But now when the whole building is ready, then why don't you move on to it? No, we don't want to move on because I know this. I don't know that. I don't know what this is. Unhappy scaffolding out in the wind, the winter and the summer, but you hold on to that, but I won't go in because I don't know what it is.
So the reason I asked about focusing on one emanation, would that not make it easier to remember the mother?
Yeah.
If at all moments.
If you feel so, certainly. A certain aspect, if say you're a warrior, maybe Mahakali will suit you better. And you really you get whatever attracts you for aspect. It has the same effect. Coming here to the Samadhi has the same effect that you have in Pondicherry. It's the same thing. This is 1st of January 2000, as far as I remember. The relics came here.
98.
98.
1998.
I think Professor Manoj Das.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he told me that it was a huge rain took place that day. The rain to the shrine.
So did you ever find out the answer as to why we don't have Maheshwari Puja?
I don't.
Does anyone know?
I don't.
The one thing I remember is Sri Aurobindo saying that Durga represents Mahakali and to some extent Maheshwari. That's one.
Where is it? Have you read it somewhere?
No, Sri Aurobindo's. Somebody had asked about various aspects of. There have been conversation of.
All the three are a part of Maheshwari. That is true. But we don't remember her or invoke her like we do the other three.
Because I remember when we were studying the mother very closely in our workshops, and we were completely awestruck with Maheshwari because we don't talk about her that much. But what a powerful emanation that is.
Yes.
The mother symbol does represent the four aspects, isn't it? Including Maheshwari. The four petals.
Yeah, that's the four parts, yes. All four.
So she has a kind of.
Maheshwari, she's the senior most, the number one. The youngest is Mahasaraswati.
It's interesting no one's asked the mother that.
No, I don't know why. It's nowhere. There's nowhere. And this has been bothering me for a long time. And I
only the three aspects, the Mahakali, Mahasaraswati, and Mahalakshmi in the Hindu religion, which is how puja started, even in the ashram because of some Bengali ashramites. So those aspects have been quite prominent in
but the mother allowed her chair used to come out. She used to appear in her Mahalakshmi form, in her Mahasaraswati form, in her Mahakali form.
Yeah.
The photographs of her. But Maheshwari, there is no photograph.
Could it be because nobody would have been able to
guess.
that aspect?
I can only guess.
Like you were saying, a drop of Ananda would demolish everybody. So if she had come down in a Maheshwari aspect,
yeah, no, but why don't we do it mentally even? We don't. It's surprising. And nowhere has he has written or she has said anything, or except for the book of Sri Aurobindo, the mother, you won't know about it.
And he's described as so beautifully.
So beautifully, that detail.
Yeah.
But Maheshwari, कोई पूछता नहीं है उनको.
Can it be that until now we're just incapable of conceiving them?
Could be. Could be one reason.
Not
yes.
yet.
Yes. But nobody even asked a question of Sri Aurobindo or the mother about Maheshwari. They all read, they all know Maheshwari through his writings. But why is she not such an integral part as the other three parts are, as far as human beings are concerned? That answer is not there.
And my final question is, once Sri Aurobindo describes in detail these four emanations, there's another, for the following chapter, he then alludes to some other emanations and manifestations. I think he calls that Mahashakti as well,
Yes.
and all that, which we haven't encountered, presumably.
I think Mahashakti is talking about the Mighty Mother.
Yeah.
Of the Mother.
But he gives a description of her, which we feel that we perhaps are not able to grasp to that level. And is it something that perhaps will come later on? Some other emanations will come later.
They bound to. In fact, indication is Ananda is one. And there's also a hint that there are many which are way above us and we're not ready to receive. So it's as Sri Aurobindo said, it's an unending evolution. It can only go beyond. So,
But in order to understand some of the other emanations that is only mentioned at the moment, will the mother need to take up a body again?
well, what Sri Aurobindo, one mother said, that the first implementalized body will be taken by Sri Aurobindo. Whether she will embody, if it is necessary for furthering the evolution, she could. It all depends on how the world is perched, how she is guiding the evolution. But the first implementalized body will be his. But then slowly it has to become clear to us, to the human eye, as Sri Aurobindo said, that we ourselves will see the change taking place. And that's where it will indicate how far we have reached in our evolutionary journey. That we will begin to see. Right now it's not visible to us. The work of the supramental is not visible. We're only guessing.
I think one needs to have patience.
Correct.
I think one needs to have patience.
Patience, of course. We have to be very patient. And I think if we have enough faith in her, patience comes with faith. If we have faith, we know the inevitability that yes, it will happen. So we're automatically patient. And in this journey, I don't think there's any scope for impatience. It's not in our hands. We have to wait. So why not wait happily and patiently?